He set the bar really high there. Huh? I don't know if I'm going to do as well as he said. And it wasn't me who said bollocks, by the way, it was him. But anyway, good evening, Amsterdam. Thank you. I would have said good morning, Vietnam, but it's not the right place. So let's talk a bit about where we're going. So everybody's heard about AI. And I spend my life talking to people about what it is. Where is it taking us? And especially in terms of the hospitality industry, where everything today is done by people. We're all here, we're all eating, we're all being served by human beings. Is that going to stay? So when I talk about AI, what's the first thing you think about? Is it this guy? Or is it this? All these little robots sitting behind a screen doing work. So if I could get the thing to work. There is a fear everywhere of what AI is going to do in this world and how many jobs it's going to take away, and especially in the jobs where a lot of the work is manual. But I really do not think that is the question we should be asking, and I'll explain why afterwards. Let's say today, instead of being here with a little tag on the table with a carrot on it, which shows you're vegetarian. I don't know what they put on for gluten, by the way. What if we took these things, the data that we've got around us, and we had personalization and experience? So we take what we know and we tailor-make an experience for somebody. So I don't need to have a tag on a table which tells me that that person's vegetarian or gluten intolerant or lactose intolerant or whatever else you could imagine today. Somewhere, somebody knows in this building what you like to eat, what you don't like to eat. We could have some information about what wine you like, so you could have an absolutely personalized dinner served at your table in the future. And how about being served by one of these guys? On the right-hand, left-hand, wherever you're, left-hand side of the screen, you have the reception of the Henna Hotel in Japan, where at one point, every single interaction at the front of the office was done by the robots. And it's interesting to know that there was one humanoid robot and one velociraptor. And everybody spoke to the velociraptor, not the human, because it freaked them out. You've got robots today who are quite capable of serving, but on rigid trays. I've got a pepper. Pepper can't hold anything. It's useless today. And you've got other robots which will come and deliver things to your room in terms of baggage. They can take room service and other things. Plus, you've got the virtual robot, like a virtual personal assistant inside a robot. But it's interesting to know that Henna has taken away 50% of its robot staff and replaced them with humans. So we've gone from 100% to 50%. Because why? The front of the house in a hotel is not the place for robots. It is not the right use case. So there's all this technology around, and the message I like to say to you is that finding the use case of what we can do with this technology is the most important. Take another example of that. This little guy up here is Now. Hilton bought Now and wanted it to be their concierge. Again, I really do not think this is the right use case. They stuck it in their hotel in Washington, and they paid IBM over $1 million to set it up with 20 questions which were frequently asked by their visitors. First problem they had, they said, robot doesn't say anything. Everybody's going to come up and talk to it. It's this lovely little robot. And everybody went, what the hell is that? And didn't speak to it at all. So they said, OK, it's going to say, hi, I'm Connie. Welcome to the Hilton. And everybody looked at it. And they asked it in question, and it said, sorry, I can't help you. Have to go to the reception. Sorry, I can't help you. Have to go to the reception. Because the 20 questions they programmed in it did not match what people were asking of it. They also had a huge problem with the noise in the reception and spent another $500,000 getting the robot to listen to the person that was stood in front of them. And this is for 20 questions, guys. And when they actually looked at the robot and found out what people asked, they looked at the questions that were asked. The number one question that was asked of this robot was, where can I find a stripper? Which proves that humans are quite capable of asking questions to a robot they will never ask to a human being. What if I tell you that with immersive VR, this is Dreamscape, it's a brilliant company. They were started off in Geneva and are now in Los Angeles. They create immersive VR experiences where you can participate as an avatar. So you guys, in 5 years' time, might not be sat at this table. You might be sat somewhere, anywhere, all over the world, and feel like you're in the same room. So you can also have an immersive VR taste, touch, smell. The 5 senses are now available in VR. So you can have a virtual reality experience of CIODAY. You can still charge them for it, Rob. But they can have the same experience, but they don't have to travel anywhere. And that's what we might be looking at. But how about augmented intelligence? Augmented intelligence is what? Augmented intelligence is creating a situation where artificial intelligence helps humans do their job. And that's the argument I'd like to place in front of you today is we shouldn't be talking about artificial intelligence. Machines are not intelligent. They're as intelligent as we make them at the moment. They cannot think by themselves. They cannot replace a human brain. But what they can do is take away the drudge of our jobs, the things that we have to do a lot of, and which makes our lives very boring. Wouldn't it be nice to come into work and think that all that admin stuff that you have to do, filling your expenses, doing your timesheets, whatever, was done by a machine, and you only came in to do the things which you like doing, which adds value. Now, augmented intelligence, I actually think is the best thing I've ever heard of for my CFO, because I think he needs some. And as I said to Rob, I'd tell you this, but maybe I shouldn't. I actually did say to CFO one day that the 3 letters of his title, there was one letter which was wrong, and it was the O. It should be a U, because for me, CFOs are completely fucked up. That didn't really help me in my job. But I think all the CIOs in this world understand what I'm talking about. Anyway, so if we put augmented intelligence in place, what impacts can we have on the organization? If you have a virtual personal assistant, which is what I've done at EHL, you can, with Aymonier, you can reduce repetitive tasks. You can increase the capacity of your workforce. You've got 24/7 availability, which is crucial for me. I've got students who forget their password on a Sunday, and they, as we all do, we all did it in our time. We do the work at the last minute. And so Aymonier can set their password for them, open the account up so they can give their homework in on time. And they create new jobs because they will allow us to do different types of work in the future. So jobs which may disappear will be regenerated into jobs which we're using this type of technology in the future. And this brings me to this, lifelong learning. The learning experience that we have got used to in the past, where we have bachelors which take 3-4 years with a master afterwards, will not exist for much longer. Lifelong learning will become extremely important because we need to create hybrid skills, which means we need to understand the base level knowledge that we need to have to do our jobs. We need to have the soft skills, but we also need to have the knowledge of this technology which is coming along. And I have tried with Amelia in EHL to include the students in everything that we do so that they can see this technology and how we can use it in the future and how it will impact their jobs. So the role of education is creating new ways of teaching. I looked at I'm going to run over time, I'm sorry. I looked at a study from Microsoft which compared millennials, Gen Zs, and your average goldfish. Millennials have an attention span of 12 seconds. Your goldfish has an attention span of 9. Millennials have attention span of 8 seconds. If we do not create experiences for these people, they will not learn in the way we expect them to learn. Oops. We also have to involve them in projects, creating virtual personal assistants, working with the AI, and working with predictive analysis. So in closing, I will show you an example that we have done at EHL, which will try and beat this 8-second barrier. It's a serious game for housekeeping, and the students don't like doing housekeeping because they don't like cleaning each other's toilets. And we had to try to make it a bit more sexy. So it's a VR experience of doing a control of a 5-star hotel room, which is against the clock, and they have to ensure that the room is perfect for the clients which are arriving. And this is a teaser that we created. Thank you very much.